Hello friends, students, welcome back to the discussion of studies in theatre, MOOC platform, theatre and artificial intelligence. This is my third lecture on this topic and I've done so much discussion on digital intervention, but I do not want to leave anything unaddressed, and that is why I am trying my best to make you feel and understand all the different perspectives that are responsible for us, that are expected of us as theatre people while handling AI or digital intervention. So this lecture is about the whole dynamics of AI instead of focusing on the specific tools and examples that I gave you in the previous lecture. But I'm going to talk about the different narratives around these issues. These narratives bother us. These narratives are also important for us to be understood as people of theatre, because we are at the receiving ends of it and we are also into the handling of it. So we need to understand the landscape, okay, and navigate through the complexities, exploring the intersectionality and set the context and have a framework for discussion. So these are the aspects, the challenges and opportunities. So when you are integrating AI, there is a need for an analysis, the current state of AI technologies, exploring their diverse applications, have an understanding of the multifaceted challenges that they present across different industries, because you can read about them, talk about them, find about them more and more in different kinds of industries like the social media platforms, film industry, entertainment industry, OTT platforms and theatre spaces. If you are living in such cities where you can have you have some access to the discussion of this kind. Generally, online meetings and online conferences take place on these issues. Meetings and conferences and lectures organized by very different kinds of stakeholders like music companies, gadget companies. They are offering some discussion, some having a meeting or a promotional discussion. So those things are also our areas where we should have an open mind and open eyes. So there is a need for us to navigate these complexities. It is not going to help us if we are apprehensive of it and we are in a state of outright rejection. There are practical complexities, there are ethical complexities, there are technical complexities, and the overall sphere of AI has to be understood in order to respond to it. And if it is something that has to be faced, then why to have a face off? Why not to face it and have it treated in the way that it deserves, instead of some of those people calling the shots in the world of theatre who do not have knowledge of theatre and then they are just technologists and are dominating theatre or performance cultures. So there is a need to navigate the complexities, and it sounds very sophisticated when we say that we have to explore intersectionality. What does it mean? That performers and practitioners of theatre cannot afford to live in exclusion. We cannot continue having our exclusive islands of existence. Intersectionality is the narrative of this century, and technology is one of the sections. We cannot exclude it, nor can we exclude ourselves from it. So what are the benefits of the intersectionality? Different kinds of sections are there, and how to navigate through them, how to create a bridge between them, how to benefit between them. Technology is one section, arts is another section, business is another section, digital intervention is another section. They all have to be integrated for theatre's cause. So we need to have our conceptual frameworks for all that we are using AI in. Where are we going to use the AI? To what extent are we going to allow it? These kinds of frameworks have to be readied. The concepts have to be ready in our mind. If we are not working on these concepts and defining the roles of different kinds of stakes and sections, then we are lacking in our responsibility. So we have to keep some frameworks for discussion ready, and so this is an overall implementation. Now what are those challenges? If we look closely, in the integration of complexities, like how to integrate with complexities, data management is the issue, system interoperability is the issue, compatibility is the issue, production workflow is the issue. These are issues of integrating those complexities. Resources may not be enough because budgetary constraints, technical expertise, these infrastructural problems, they may be there, and we need to require to minimize these things as restraints. They think these are always posing barriers to the AI solutions. Then we need to highlight the need for robust algorithmic development. Theatre specific algorithmic development is required. Any other algorithmic regulation or development manual is not going to work in theatre. It has to be different from films. It has to be different from OTT platforms. So theatre specific requirements are crucial, which are processed in real time, which have dynamic scene analysis, and they are adaptive learning mechanisms for the audience, for the practitioners and people who are participating in theatre. And these should be properly tested, validated. A rigorous testing should be done of all these procedures so that reliability, accuracy and performance output all is clear to us before deploying them into theatre settings or minimizing the risks of errors, biases and malfunctions during live performances. Also, the idea of security and privacy is a big challenge. It's a technical challenge also, because data security is related to technical advancements. If our system is not technically soundproof, foolproof, then security proof is not in, then it will lead to data theft. Privacy protection will not be there. Intellectual property rights associated with data-driven, AI-driven theatre technologies, and these things have not yet been conceptualized in all the societies, in all the workspaces. So we need to be ready, we have to ready ourselves by doing these kinds of things. Scalability and sustainability. To what extent and to what scale can these things be done in designing AI solutions for theatre, including infrastructure, scalability of algorithms, long-term maintenance and support requirements to ensure continued functionality. It should not become just one-time engagement, but a sustainability has to be achieved. Then the financial considerations like initial investment. So we can discuss the upfront costs associated with acquiring AI technology. I'm specifically addressing this issue to those of you who are seriously interested in taking this forward. And this whole thing will help you a lot. Someday you can make use of it. Because the cost of implementation, customization and training, hardware, software, licensing fees, all need investment. These are initial investment. Then you have return on investment. Like you need to evaluate the potential returns that you will have, on benefiting the as a benefit of integrating the AI into theatre production process. Because you can also create hiring services, you can hire out those things. By efficiency, the costs will be minimized, productivity will be gained, maybe some cost saving is also done, and more audience is joining this. So this need to be assessed, the return on investment. Then budget allocation to different initiatives within theatre organizations, like balancing it. What should be the short term investment, what should be the long term investment, how strategically you have to take care of that investment, to what extent the technological innovation will remain valid for a time period, when will it become outdated. So to what those short term and long term things need to be allocated in keeping in mind that idea. Resources, from where will you get the funding sources? So one has to keep exploring the alternative funding sources also. The financing options available to theatre companies and production teams to support AI projects. You can have collaborations with companies, sponsorships, partnerships, crowdfunding, and venture capital investment can also be an option. Risk management means that you have to identify financial risks, uncertainties associated with AI adoption in theatre, including the budget overruns, unexpected expenses, maybe it goes too high, technology obsolescence means something goes out of use, and market volatility. In implementing risk mitigation strategies to minimize adverse impacts and other things. Cost benefit analysis means conducting cost benefit analyses and feasibility studies to assess the financial viability, feasibility of AI initiatives in theatre. Keep weighing the upfront cost and the potential benefits against the long-term value and other things. In addition to this, the next level is the training and education for theatre practitioners. This is, I think, a very important aspect. So, skill development is important for theatre practitioners in AI discourse, AI technology. Workshops, training programs, certification courses should be there to equip theatre practitioners with knowledge, skills and competencies, because we cannot have these things run without proper training, proper skills. So somebody can go for set designing separately, somebody who can go for light, sound engineering and stage management. These are specialized kinds of things. So this offers a kind of opportunity for ongoing professional development. And it is also a part of continuing education. In AI related disciplines, we can continue our education, reassess our knowledge, and there is a need to stay abreast of emerging trends, emerging ideas, best practices, industry trends, and how the things are evolving in different spheres of performance culture and technology. There should be interdisciplinary collaboration because it promotes knowledge sharing among the theatre professionals, technologists, researchers, educators and industry experts, and that leads to innovation, creativity and of course cross-pollination, the word that has been in our discussion a lot. Hands-on experience is must. It cannot happen without hands-on experience. I'm sorry that I cannot provide you hands-on experience samples through this medium, but someday there will be a possibility for us to develop AI-driven lecture modules in which we will be able to give you hands-on training of these things that I have been talking about. So, a real world production environment, encouraging experimentation and other things, these are the aspects that we have to keep in our mind in order to reach the level of expertise. Then inclusive training, we should not exclude anything. We should ensure that training and education programs are accessible, inclusive, and they are culturally sensitive to different parts of the world, different cultures of the world, different communities of the world. They should accommodate diverse learning styles. They should have backgrounds and abilities for all kinds of people. So inclusive training is important in AI. It cannot prescribe one model of AI driven theatre intervention in theatre. Something that worked in one part of the world will work everywhere. So that is an issue, and that generally becomes a problematic thing, especially in terms of technology, and companies do not want to go for R&D specifically for different regions of the world, and they just try to impose through very attractive advertisement campaigns and through media. They just popularize whatever is available with them. So that needs to be countered. And it is a lifelong learning, so promotion of culture is something that is at the spirit of theatre productions and theatre practice. So to what extent it is going to safeguard our culture, that is lifelong learning for us, and we can also unlearn certain things in order to facilitate our learning. In addition to this, the ethical and social implications of AI in theatre are very important, and we need to have a clarity about it when we are talking about it. Privacy concerns. These means that the security associated with the use of AI technologies, including the collection, storage, sharing of personal information and sensitive data related to audience, performers, production personnel, that has to be kept private. It's a concern. And the idea of bias, fairness, homogenizing, political propaganda, or creating stereotypes, discriminating on the basis of lack of access to certain parts of the world, inequality in theatre practice, casting decisions and audience interactions, these all have to be looked into. There are biases, and there is also to be fair. So this is an important issue in the intervention of AI. So one has to create a system of transparency and accountability where the deployment of AI, the development of AI should ensure that the stakeholders have access to information about how AI technologies are used, how decisions are made, and how potential biases are identified and addressed. We need to make informed choices, and for that everyone should know what they are participating in, what they are offering. If some kind of uninformed or involuntarily we ask people to participate in something, then that is not ethical. It should be a human-centered design, prioritizing human creativity as the core of storytelling practices, theatre productions, performances, acting, that should remain there. So AI-driven theatre experience must not be at the cost of removing the human element from it. This will be the most significant trope that people like you, students, will have to work for in future more and more. The researches will have to be in this direction. Community engagement is one of the pillars of theatre culture. And if community engagement is left out unaddressed in intervention of AI, then it is not going to survive. So organizations, policymakers, audience, artists, practitioners, financiers, sponsors, patrons, they all have to be engaged in the dialogue about it, so that the ethical and social implications are drafted keeping in mind everybody's worldview. The trust, transparency, accountability will be strengthened by this kind of community engagement. So we have to balance tradition and innovation. Preserving theatrical heritage by recognizing the importance of its past, our practices, our techniques, the cultural heritage in the face of technological advancements requires a kind of surety that AI intervention will complement it rather than replacing it. This is a very apprehensive kind of thing when people talk about it. Then it opens up new artistic frontiers, so we need to embrace it because they are expanding the creative possibilities. They are also challenging the conventional boundaries. They are pushing the boundaries of artistic expression in theatre, fostering experimentation, innovation, interdisciplinary collaboration. So much of diversity is there. We cannot close doors on this diversity, but we need to have our choices asserted. It also is a method where we can bring in the cultural adaptation and evolution as a documented form, in the recorded form, because in response to the changing societal norms, the adaptations that are happening, the evolution of culture that is happening because of technological developments, because of audience preference. So this will lead to an embracing of the dynamic and inclusive approach. So this is also significant. So promoting artistic integrity for me is crucial. How artists must remain intact. The persona of artist is not disturbed, violated, or distracted into, or the creative autonomy. Like, how can a robot tell what to say, what to emote in what scene? No, it's the artist who will decide this. The authenticity, the creative autonomy, the artistic integrity, all these things must be very important, clear phenomena of the AI intervention, the AI technology. Theatre productions must not appear as the caricaturing of the art or the caricature of the artist's persona. It should ensure that technical inventions serve the artistic vision and its intentions. Creators, directors, performers, they are to be followed and served by the AI intervention. They will not be dictated or overshadowed by the presence of AI driven technology. So we have some examples and some way outs like collaborative models for AI driven theatre projects. Here we need to encourage collaboration between theatre practitioners, technologists, scientists and other creative professionals to extract out the best possible potential of AI technologies in theatre. That will again create a disciplinary dialogue, interdisciplinary kind of motivation and innovation. So embrace the co-created projects, co-designed projects, problem solving with togetherness, empowering the diverse stakeholders, presence of lot of kind of variety of people in judging the perspectives and in enriching the expertise, so that the AI insights do not remain one-sided or unjudged, unassessed by different worldviews in the sphere of theatre. It should be iterative development cycles, where the adaptive iterative development like agile project management methodologies and rapid prototyping, refinement of AI driven theatre technologies, which will lead to flexibility, adaptability, continuous improvement. This is a way out, and this can only happen when there is collaboration. Community engagement and participation, I told that it is so important for all kinds of artistic initiatives, something that resonates with the diverse cultural ethos and social and experimental enthusiasm of people. People should be involved in it. And partnerships should be sustainable. Networks of communities and experts should be made forever. so that people continue to working for those systems and those systems continue to exist for art's sake and serve the cause of theatre. Then we have the aspect of experimentation and exploration. We have already read a lot about this, so just a quick discussion, like the innovation in storytelling practices, virtual spaces like VR and AR platforms, dynamic audience interaction, cross-cultural exchange and all these things, the social themes, the ethical themes, the performance techniques, they all are to be looked at as opportunities of experimentation and exploration. All experiments do not remain forever. All explorations do not remain forever. They have to be taken forwarded as experiments. Some are failures, some are successful. Let us just experiment and explore. These are not the decisive paradigms. And then addressing audience concerns and expectations. If we have transparency and we are bothered about the consent of the audience in what we are inviting them into, then it is important. If we are not doing it, then this is crucial. We should do it. User experience and accessibility. Every user must have the access and experience of it. Prioritize it. This is the area, these are the ways in which the domination of AI can be harnessed in the sphere of art world and specifically in the sphere of theatre world. Audience, if they are empowered and their agency is empowered, then participation in AI driven theatre experience will not be for them some kind of loss or some kind of experience with which they ended up appearing unenriched. So they need to learn what is to be picked from where. So soliciting feedback from audience, incorporating it into the productions can be very much channelized, algorithms can be generated, responses can be solicited through platforms. It is very organized. So adaptation and other things are easier for people when they take their same productions to different parts of the country or different parts of the world. So education, advocacy of rights of audience, promoting education and spreading it as some kind of literacy, AI literacy in theatre is important for all the stakeholders, not just the audience or any single entity. So reflect on the key insights, students, the challenges, the opportunities discussed throughout these lectures. Have your own perspective of it. Do not think that we are at a loss and we are not going to benefit from it. It is some kind of danger only, because we need to tackle it, we need to handle it. Have some vision and be innovative towards receiving it, and be forward thinking. Have your mindset ready for some kind of brainstorming, changes and unsettling. Although it is disturbing to see how artistic expression and our traditional things are again and again asked to be under some kind of shadows of analysis, but it is something that we can make it for the good. So have your resilience and adaptability through programs like these, and also with other kinds of training programs and exposures, so that you can mitigate the risks and seize the emerging opportunities, transform them into opportunity for your growth, for your enrichment, for your employment and for your intellectual as well as artistic expansion. Human values and ethical imperatives should be our principles to guide us. We need to uphold them in the entire discussion. I have been repeating this many times. So when you go for these kinds of discussion, these kinds of usage, look for research and write and express and talk about prioritizing the principles of fairness, transparency, accountability, privacy and social responsibility, because it safeguards the human dignity. It safeguards the autonomy of artists, art, human beings, and it also needs to be something that nurtures the diversity of our world, the creative world, the world of theatre. So this is something that I call you to action. I hope that you have enjoyed this discussion. I invite all stakeholders through you, through your dissemination of this message and discussion further across disciplines, to join in a shared journey of exploration, innovation and literacy about, sensitizing about the co-creation in the world of intersectionality that AI driven technology is offering us as people of theatre. This is it from me. Thank you so much. I hope you have enjoyed this lecture. Make the best use of it, and I'll be happy to have your feedback someday, because I'm always available wherever I am. Thank you very much, students.